today we are talking about shoving your shoulds and making bold decisions as a stepmom. You are not going to want to miss this. I'm Cameron. I spent years building my career and creating a life I loved. And when my Prince Charming finally showed up, he had 4 kids in tow. Fast forward through lots of mistakes made and lessons learned, step family life was much more complicated than I realized. If you're looking for help with blended family life, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Stepmom Diaries, where we keep it real as we dish about all the things. This is your weekly dose of blended family inspiration and encouragement. You're not the wicked stepmother, so let me help you find your fairy tale ending. Come on, let's do this. Welcome, welcome. I am so excited about today's episode because we have back one of our previous guests. She's been on a couple of episodes with us in the past, and I'll link to those in the show notes. But we have brought Jessica Frew back, and she is one of my favorite people. I always tell her she's a little ball of sunshine. She is so positive and has such a strong sense of self and really brings that energy to all of her clients, and she's bringing it to all of us today. So Jessica is the author of Shove Your Shoulds, a brand new book that she is going to give you for free. And I'm going to put a link to that in the show notes as well. She is a speaker and she is a bold decision coach. And if you're wondering what that is, we're going to talk about it in the episode. But Jessica helps ambitious women unlearn the conditioning they were raised with so that they can make bold, imperfect decisions without guilt, fear, or second guessing. She is a speaker, author, and coach. She blends personal experience, including navigating divorce, a mixed orientation marriage, you heard that correctly, and blending families with a proven decision-making framework to guide women back to trusting their intuition. Whether it is on stage, in coaching, or through her book, her mission is to help women stop living by everybody else's rules and start living boldly, unapologetically, and in full alignment with who they were created to be. She has a wonderful outlook on life, and I always love bringing her to you all. So I am excited to jump in today with Jessica. So let's dive right in. Jessica, I'm so happy to have you back.
Always fun to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes. Okay, so you've been on the podcast before, but it has been a while. And you've spoken at, I think, almost every Stepmom Summit because you just always have so many good things to say. But tell us, because I think we have a lot of new folks listening. You know, I always ask about the stepmom origin story, and you have such a good one. So tell us your origin story for those who might not know you.
Yeah. So I was married to my first husband for 7 years. He came out as gay partway into our marriage, and we stayed married for like another 5 years and had a daughter together. And then he ended up having an affair. And I was like, dude, it is time. Live your best life. Go be who you were meant to be. And I am going to go do the same. And so we split 7 years into our marriage. Our daughter was 2 at the time. And I got remarried like a year and a half later, which I'm like, that's not for everybody. But I'd had a lot of time to kind of process through that my marriage might end in divorce because I knew he was gay. Like I knew it was a possibility, and I chose to stay as long as I did with that understanding. So there's my caveat on how quickly I got married, just to be like, you can take time and sometimes you don't. I knew when I met my husband, my ex-husband actually introduced me to my current husband, and I knew I was going to marry him. And I told my ex-husband that a week later, and he's like, you have said hi to this man. I'm like, I don't know what it is, but I'm going to marry him. And he dated another girl for 9 months before that, whose name was Jessica. Or like after I tried to date Matt, I was like, hey, we need to date. Hey. And he's like, I'm super flattered. I can't date you right now. I'm dating this other girl named Jessica. I want to see where it goes. And it's far enough in. I don't feel good about dating both of you, which I was like, kudos to you. Definitely respect that. And then 9 months later, we met up at a park with our kids after church one day. And he's going off about how he's never going to get married, how he's not, you know, all of these things. He's done dating. He's breaking up with her tomorrow. And I'm like, okay. And he broke up with her the next day. And then Tuesday, he was at my house. And we were married 8 weeks after that.
I
8 weeks.
love it.
So I get it. And I still can't believe we've been married now for 12 and a half years, which just blows my mind. But with that, he brought 2 kids into the picture. So I have at this point, which is also crazy to me, an 18 and a 17-year-old stepson and stepdaughter. And my daughter is now 16. And we've been, again, navigating this for 12 and a half years. And I will say it is the hardest thing I've ever done. And the thing that almost broke me. I mean, I had a gay ex-husband. I had a gay husband that I went through all these things with and that had an affair with a man and that we tried to work it out after that. And we dated after we got divorced, like all of these things. So I was like, I'm good. Getting married, we're going to be fine. Yeah, like I know who I am. I won't lose myself in this. And what is the first thing I did but lose myself? Because I don't know if I was afraid of failing again or that I needed to prove how strong I was, which I think is very common for us as women.
100%.
Like prove my strength. And then a year in, I was like, what am I doing? Like, I know better than this. This is not me. I am going to lose myself. And that's something that scares me more than anything. And I left him a year into our marriage, was like, I'm out. I can't do this anymore. I'm going to lose myself. I had a full-time job, like an amazing job as a seamstress at this bridal shop here in town. I set up in a weekend. I had a place to live for Penny and I, my daughter and I. And I was like, and then like I got to it and I'm like, I can't do this either. Like, I know I need to go back and try in a different way. And I need to show up for myself first in this marriage because I genuinely believe Matt and I were going to be good together, and we are. But I had to show up differently than I was. I had to stop trying to prove myself. I had to stop trying to prove my strength. I had to set boundaries and be clear about what I would and would not do. And once I did that, it still took some time for us to figure things out, but it started healing things in ways I didn't expect and allowed all of us to show up in the relationship in a way that actually worked for us and that felt safe for everybody. And I started to feel safe in my house again. And I started to feel safe, in how I interacted with his ex-wife, which is I didn't interact with his ex-wife. And finding my footing gave him space to speak up for himself. And it gave space for our stepkids to have a voice and my daughter. And oh man, I'm so glad I went back. It is, and again, that is not for everybody to go back and stay.
But let's talk about that a little bit.
Broad strokes.
Yeah, I was thinking a little bit about that because like you hit your breaking point. I talked to so many stepmoms who I want you to talk a little bit more about what that breaking point was and what you were noticing about losing yourself. Because I feel like so many stepmoms come into this and way overperform and I also think that's a woman thing, right? Like we, overdo it because we feel like we have to. But as stepmoms, we come into this and it's almost like we feel like we have to earn our place and that show that we deserve to be there. But tell me a little bit about that dynamic that, kind of got you to this breaking point, because I think a lot of stepmoms get there and then don't know what to do. And it's amazing to me that you were able to leave and then come back with such a clear head.
Yeah. I mean, for me, here's the thing about blending families is we are both bringing our crap in from both sides of this.
Yes,
and we make their issues and the things they are dealing with and their relationship with their ex our problem and our issue. We are the issue. We are actually the ones responsible for it. We are the ones that, that's why their relationship isn't working now. That's why our stepkids are misbehaving. It's all about us. And usually it's spoken that it's about us because the kids are saying that to their mom. The kids are saying that to whoever. They're saying that to their dad, just because that's what they're hearing too and this isn't all cases, but a lot of the time we're the easy scapegoat for everybody as the step parent. And for me, that breaking point looked like I was having the conversations between him and his ex-wife. I was the one that was making all the plans because that's what the mom does. I was a stay-at-home mom. And so that's what I do. I take the kids to school. I do X, Y, and Z, even at the sacrifice of not being able to take my own daughter and having to call my parents to step in for my parenting responsibilities with my daughter, which was fine. They were happy to do it. And I was glad I had parents that did that. But also I I was getting resentful because I was missing moments with my
Yeah.
daughter
Yeah.
in sacrifice of his, which those moments were limited too because I'm co-parenting as well. And she's spending every other week at her dad's house.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so there's like this slow giving up of what is important to us because again, we're trying to prove our worth. We're trying to prove we're worth having around. We're trying to create that. It also looked like my husband, as soon as we got married, was trying to process things he thought he had dealt with from his first marriage that he did not realize were still an issue until we were standing at the altar and got married.
Yeah.
And literally on our honeymoon, it hit. And I watched him shut down on me and I was like, what just happened? And of course, I'm going to think that's about me because it's just us on our honeymoon.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, what just happened? I remember the last night of our honeymoon just bawling, crying myself to sleep after he went to sleep, just being like, what just happened? It was seriously that quick. And so there's just so much that goes in there and uniquely there's a lot of common themes, but I think we take their own residual, them needing to deal with their own stuff and make it our problem. Matt had super issues with money from his ex-marriage of like trusting me with the money that I didn't fully understand because he couldn't even communicate that to me because he was so scared. He was also just like, I have failed in every relationship I've had, so not end this faster, and like wasn't giving me anything to work with. And then, it is my fault when his ex-wife's pissed, or it is my fault that I didn't combat that conversation with like whatever things, like I should have done that. And it's not on him. He wasn't a bad guy. He just couldn't, he was dealing with his own stuff. He didn't feel safe communicating that because he had never been in a safe relationship. I had, even though my ex-husband was gay, we still had a safe relationship where we could communicate. And so I am just constantly giving. I am constantly like, I am strong. I can do this. I can carry the weight for both of us until I was like, no, I really cannot.
Yeah.
This is not something
point.
I am willing to do. Yes. And the breaking point looked like I'm up crying every night after he goes to bed. I am crying. Like, I am not that big of a crier. I am more so now, which I like about me. But it was just like, this is not me. This is not how I do life. We got married because I thought it was going to be fun. Like, I have fun with this man and it's not fun.
It's not.
And if we can't have fun, why am I here? Because ultimately, I'm like, I tell my daughters this all the time, my stepdaughter and my daughter, I'm like, marry somebody you can have fun with because life is hard. Like,
Absolutely.
marry somebody that even amongst the hard, there's still moments when they make you laugh and you can still, like, it can be hard and you can still have moments of laughter. And so I just came back and I was like, this is the mentality I'm coming back with.
Yeah.
Like, if I want to make this work, I'm coming back with the attitude of, first and foremost, I'm going to start placing boundaries up one at a time. I'm going to ease into this because I've held it together this long. I can slowly put these in place because you don't want to just like blow everything up because that's not going to work either. And so it was like putting these boundaries in place and creating safety for Matt in that process of, this is the boundary I'm setting right now. And this is why, and you might not understand that, but please trust me in this. And then he would start to do that. And he'd be like, I see how this is helping my kids. And I see how this is not only helping my kids, but it's helping all of these other dynamics. And they'd be like, okay, so now I'm doing this. And it wasn't like necessarily a spoken thing. It was just like, hey, it didn't have to always be spoken, but I was slowly introducing these things that I knew I needed.
Yeah.
And he was coming along with me. And I think this is the key. If you are in a relationship where your partner doesn't come along with you and doesn't start to see like, oh, I see how you are feeling better, that's when the relationship might not be healthy and needs to end. If they aren't at some point seeing the shifts and the ease and the happiness and joy that's coming back into your family, then it's probably not for you.
So I want to ask kind of a personal question.
Go for it.
And we can edit it out if you don't want to answer it. So, you left and you came back and you had kind of this clarity that, and you had these sort of intentional moments and conversations with him. Like, did you have professional help, or is this something that you kind of left and realized on your own and kind of did on your own? Because it really is an amazing transformation to kind of leave and get that clarity. I mean, was there a coach or a therapist or work that you did on yourself before you came back, or how did that work?
It was a moment of just coming back to myself. I think I'm a little bit of a freak in this way. I say that to myself in the most loving way possible. It's like something I really love about myself. And I've known this since I was like in junior high as a teenager. I remember seeing this about myself is that I know who I am.
Yeah, you really
And
do. We've
I
known you for a while
do.
now, and you really do. It's an amazing quality that you have.
Yeah. And I am good at creating safety for myself to do what is best for me. And I have known since junior high of how that then creates safety for other people. And I realized that that was the thing I had given up in my marriage. That was the thing that I had let go out the door. That is the thing that like now I knew my life's purpose was to help other women create that and build that. And I was like, why did I allow this to go away?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I did come back without that support. I went to a counselor at some point, but it wasn't the counselor that like gave me that moment of clarity. I went to the counselor after that moment. I was like, okay, something else I am going to incorporate because my husband didn't want to go in. He'd had a bad experience with therapy and I get that and I understand why. I firmly believe that therapy is kind of crap unless you have coaching with it. Therapy is highly important. Do not get me wrong. Like, if it's necessary, it is good work. But sometimes it gets into like a cycle of just not moving you forward. And I feel like when you have coaching come in to help that along,
really well hand
it
in hand.
progressed hand in hand. It is beautiful. Anyway, I went to a therapist and it did help me see things. He'd be like, okay, but are her actions, like the ex's actions, actually keeping you from showing up as a good parent? Like you can keep blaming her for X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I just need to, whatever. And he's like, you aren't the main character in these kids' stories. If the Step Kids movie was on screen, you aren't actually main character energy. You are a supportive role, an important role, but you don't have the power to ruin these kids' lives. That is not your responsibility. That is not on you. And like, yeah, if you're a horrible, like a vicious, malintentioned person, which the people here listening to this podcast are not. Like,
Right.
I am telling you, you might do some stupid stuff along the way. That's okay. That doesn't mean you are divisive and like intentionally trying to harm something. And like reminding myself of that was really powerful of like, I don't have the power to like their story was already going. Their story was already kind of crap before I came into it. If anything, I'm helping it be better and supporting them and loving them in ways that I can and releasing my obligation, like my self-imposed sense of obligation of how I need to show up, created a relationship that works way better than the one I was trying to force. Sure. I mean, my stepdaughter is 17. She decided to move in with us 4 years ago in like a week. She decided to come live with us full time. And I could not have imagined our relationship being what it is today. And I know it's because, and not that it's all me, but I have given her space to feel and to be herself and not pressured her to like have a certain type of relationship with me. But hey, I am here and she knows that beyond a doubt.
Biggest
like
gift you can give a step kid is like giving them the space to kind of figure out what they want you to be in their life. You know, I mean, that's such a huge gift that you can give them.
And that comes from not making it about you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of like being like, but I have something to prove here. I need to show I'm a great stepmom. I mean, there are some things that I have done that I'm like, that could look like the bitchiest, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear.
Yes, you are.
Worst move ever. But also it was what was best for everybody in the end. Yes, It was a boundary I needed to set, but I knew it was going to benefit my stepkids as well. Even though from the outside looking in, it looked horrible. Or like people I know were criticizing me and I know his ex-wife was using it against me. And I'm like, I don't care. And it's created that safety for things to blossom. So back to your question. Yes, there was like some therapy involved in this. But ultimately that decision was just this deep knowing of my own, knowing how to work for myself, how to show up for myself in life and reminding myself that that is the one thing I hadn't done in this relationship. And it's the only thing that makes relationships work. It is the only thing that brings calm and peace in relationships is coming at it from a place where I am going to protect my own peace and have my own back and not put that on you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make this like that is not your purpose. Now, if you don't add to that peace and safety, you are not my person. And that's when I would have left Matt. That's when I would have been like, no, we are done. If you can't support me in this, I am out. But because he did show up and he was willing to like come along with me, even though he was not happy when I walked back into our house, but he like trusted, he put some trust in that.
Yeah.
And so we were able to make it work. But a little bit of
Well,
therapy, a lot of self-coaching, but like that
but
was,
that's actually a great segue. I mean, so you are a decision coach and
Mhm.
you are helping women make big decisions. And your book, Shove Your Shoulds, is fantastic. So I'm going to link to it in the show notes. And if you are listening to this, you need to get her book, which, by the way, I'll have a link in there, is free. All you have to pay is shipping and handling. And it's phenomenal. Tell us about the book. Tell us about Shove Your Shoulds.
yeah. I mean, it goes back to this idea of, when we enter this marriage, and anything in life, but we're talking step parenting, co-parenting, all these things. We get in this habit of, well, I should do that. I should do this. It should look that way.
I
And
mean,
this
how
is
many
very much
times a day do we say that, right? Like,
so many. And once you start doing this work of identifying your shoulds and just letting them be seen, it's like, oh my gosh. And the reason the should is powerful is because it's such an easy way to identify where you are placing judgment on what you are doing. And
yep,
where you're saying, no, I have to do this because I should, because that's what somebody else expects outside of you. And
yep.
whether you can identify or pinpoint that voice, I know like a lot of therapy and somatic practices or whatever go back to like identifying where that first voice came in. I'm like, I can't do that in my life. I don't remember things. I don't know, but it's there. And
Yeah.
that's all I need to know is this should is there. And now I'm going to see it and let it be seen and decide, is this something that is serving me or is this something I need to release?
Is it an actual should or is it a
Yeah.
manufactured should?
Yeah. Is this something I actually want? And changing it to that verbiage of, no, this is something I want to do because it feels safe and comforting to me. It feels like it's what's best for me.
And that all came out of your experience with, Matt and leaving and coming back. And, ultimately, I think it's such a beautiful demonstration of that because it's one of those like, should you do everything to stay married to this person? I mean, sure, probably everybody thinks you should do that, but ultimately, is it going to be the right thing for you? You decided that it was after doing the work, but you
Yeah.
did the work understanding that you weren't going to let that should be there if it wasn't meant to be there.
Yeah. No, it was like, I want to come back with the intention of this is how I'm doing it. I'm not doing it according to the should anymore. I'm not doing it with any need to prove to anybody
Right.
else what I should do or that I am of value or worth having in their lives. If they want to see that, they will. If they don't, that's their thing. But I know who I am. I know my intentions. And that's where the power comes from. So that's where we build the confidence to set the boundary. And I'm always like, set one boundary. It's going to feel horrible. And also you were going to feel peace and safety in that moment as well. Like it's going to feel hard and you're going to convince yourself you are selfish and you are going to put all these things on you. And that is the should and the conditioning speaking.
Yep.
And then you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this
Yeah.
feels so good.
It's going to be
I
hard.
crave the next step of like, now what is it that I release? And sometimes that's like, things came up with Matt's ex-wife. I'd be like, I need to go for a run right now. Like I have to get out of the house. And Matt would be like, go and do.
Yeah.
And that's the boundary of like, I can't process this right now. Like I need to get into my body to like feel through this. I'm out. And
Yeah.
just having a partner that doesn't make you feel bad for being like, I got to go run. I got to go
Yeah,
for a
totally.
walk. I
Yeah.
need to go for a drive. I'm going to go cry somewhere outside of our house so that not everybody has to hear it. Like whatever it is, but like trusting those things.
Yeah. Yeah, it is so important. I mean, I remember when we first got married, it wasn't even a step-family dynamic issue per se, but like I'm an only child. I lived alone for 10 years. Just like when we moved in together, the level of daily chaos that came with 4 kids, I was like,
Yep.
and I sat down with Craig and I was like, I don't know how to say this. I love the kids. I love you. I'm going to need to check out a little bit. Like the weeks that they're here,
Yes.
I'm just going to need to like go up to the room and go to bed early or like get on my phone or talk to a friend, whatever, or
Yeah.
go to a pedicure. Like I just am going to need some Cameron time. And I really like that was, putting aside all the crazy dynamics, which we definitely had. It was
Yes.
just that like little bit of like the chaos. I was like, okay, We're going to have to identify some ways to cope with this.
Yeah. And that is how you cope with the bigger chaos, is being able to say, like, there's chaos in the day to day that I'm feeling, and this is overwhelming for me, and this is what I need. And having a partner that hears that and is like, okay, I understand. And maybe they don't understand because they can't, because they're not you, but I see that's what you need and I support you in that. Like, that is the key right there that makes it doable. And again, if you don't have that, or somebody that doesn't eventually come along with that, that's where you need to understand, is this where I stay or is this where I leave?
Yeah.
Because I don't know many stepmoms that haven't been at that point.
Yeah. No,
of like,
totally.
do I stay or do I leave?
Yeah. Hey, tell me, you've written a book on the shoulds. You are a decision coach. What is like one of the most common shoulds that people come to you with?
I should stay in my marriage.
Oh, really? That's
I should. That is the biggest thing that people come to me with. And it's usually the decision of, do I stay or do I go? For different reasons. But it is this deep conditioning that I should be strong enough to stay. And I should be strong enough to stay exactly how it is. And I shouldn't want any more. And I should be grateful for what I have and what my partner brings. Like, that is huge within that decision of, well, I should just be appreciative. It's not as bad as so-and-so's marriage. It's not as bad as, I'm not getting abused. I'm not X, Y, and Z. I'm like, but are you really not getting abused? Because this is a level of abuse. Anyway, but like, I should be grateful. I should be appreciative. I shouldn't want more. And I call both.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. That's huge. I think as for stepmoms, that's a huge one, right? Like, I was talking to one of my stepmom coaches today that I trained in the Step Family Coach Academy. And she said, well, I need to just get a handle on this and stop being selfish. And I was like, I'm going to stop you right there.
Yep.
You are not being selfish. Setting boundaries is not selfish. But I think we are so conditioned to, like, we're the step parent. We're going to come in second, which means maybe come in last. We're going to be okay with that. And we're just going to work to justify our place in the family because we don't deserve to be here and we need to prove ourselves to earn that seat at the table, And that's not a great place.
No. And that conditioning is so deep within women, especially because of the roles that we typically fulfill. It's been conditioned that as the wife, we should come in second to our husbands. And as the mom, we should come in second. And as the stepmom, we are like down the list.
Six, whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's just bull crap, because if we don't show our kids, and whether they're our biological kids or step kids, like whatever role we are in their lives, it doesn't matter. If we are an aunt, uncle, like whoever we are in these kids' lives, if we are not showing them that we are of value, then that is just showing them that they are not of value, that they always have to come in second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever. And it's this conditioning that we need to release.
Yeah.
And with the conditioning of, I should be grateful, I should whatever, it's like that, well, I shouldn't need that. I should be okay coming in third or fourth. I should whatever. And also, I should be able to do more. I should, like, it's just a trickle that, like, they all come together.
Yeah.
And it's so
much pressure on ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica, I could talk forever. You and I always love having a good catch-up session. So we're going to end this here, but we are going to continue the conversation over on YouTube. So if you want more of Jessica, and especially if you are a step family coach or thinking about coaching, we're going to be talking about that over on YouTube. So head over there and check that out. And Jessica, where can everybody find you and get a copy of your amazing book?
Yes. So I am most active on Instagram. I am starting a YouTube channel. On both of those, I am Hey Jessica Frew. You can find me there. And then my book you can pick up at shoveyourshoulds.com/free book. And you can go grab that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jessica.
Yeah, thank you.